Welcome back to the courtroom. Today's case centers on Ms. Allah, 30 years old, a mother of three ages 10, 4, and an 8-month-old baby. Right from the jump, the judge goes into fact-finding mode. Education, employment, and crucially hit. Why? Because those details shape risk, responsibility, and sentencing options. What's coming is not just a legal ruling, it's a reality check. You'll hear about prior arrests, a pending aggravated charge out of Atlanta, and a tally the court calls 11 cycles. But this isn't just a rap sheet. Recap this. Judge is about to deliver one of the most direct talks on parenting responsibility, stability, and long-term consequence you'll hear in a misdemeanor courtroom. Watch the pivot. She's not piling on financial penalties just to punish. She's triaging priorities classes, intervention programs, and real-world stability over impossible fines. There's also a tense moment about whether another county might have a hold, which could keep Ms. Allah locked up longer. That uncertainty adds pressure to everything we're about to hear. Pay close attention to how the judge balances accountability with a path forward. Community service, parenting education, family violence, intervention, and suspended fees to help her actually comply. Big question for you as we go. Is this tough? Love the accountability this mother needs, or is the system setting goals that are hard to meet without stronger social support? Keep listening and decide for yourself.
Let me ask some questions. How old are you, Miss Allah?
30 years old.
30?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever worked?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you worked before, I guess, becoming a full-time mom, what did you do?
Okay, say that again, ma'am.
Like before you became a mom or stay-at-home mom, what did you do as a job?
Oh, I was working at a warehouse.
Okay. All right. Did you finish high school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have any college or any other training?
No, ma'am. I went to this institute called Health and Style Institute to become an esthetician.
Okay. If anybody knows, does Miss Allah have any history?
Yes, ma'am.
Here's where the courtroom stakes sharpen. The record, we hear about past incidents including a prior identity-related charge years back, family violence-related history that was reduced to criminal trespass, a violation of probation, and multiple suspended license cases plus a pending aggravated matter in Atlanta. When the court mentions 11 cycles, that usually means prior arrests, contacts with the criminal system. Why does that matter today? Because the more cycles, the more the court worries about patterns, risk of reoffending, and whether probation has worked before. This is where viewers often split. Do you see a defendant stuck in survival mode, or someone who's ignoring red flags? Engagement check. Based on what you've heard, would you trust probation one more time, or tighten restrictions to force compliance?
He has prior convictions for, he's got an old identity theft charge out of 2012. He was previously arrested for family violence, but it doesn't appear anything came out of that, as well as a cruelty charge. She's pled no to criminal trespass. After that was reduced from a simple battery, family violence, one VOP, and a few suspended license charges. It appears she's a pending aggravated assault out of Atlanta, and that appears to be it. She's got 11 cycles.
Okay. Miss Allah, how old are your children?
I have a 10-year-old, I have a 4-year-old, and an 8-month-old. Should be 9.
Okay. All right. So let me tell you something. Okay. First of all, children are a blessing, but they're also a choice. And so if you're in a situation where you're not particularly financially, economically stable, then you don't have to keep having kids. There's ways to prevent them. Even if you want to keep having sex, you don't have to have kids. So let's be clear on that.
The judge's message is blunt. Children deserve stability, and parents must make choices that prioritize them. Notice the sequence. She connects economic instability, repeated arrests, and time away from children to long-term harm. She even references a doctor's observation that a child's future often tracks the mother's stability. Legally, this isn't a finding, it's context. Sentencing courts often expand beyond the statute to emphasize life choices that reduce recidivism. The rhetorical strategy here is deliberate, shifting Ms. Allah from short-term survival decisions to long-term planning. Question for you. Is this kind of moral coaching appropriate from the bench, or does it risk sounding paternalistic? Also, as you listen, Track how the judge ties every practical step: housing, employment, family. The core legal goal: fewer future offenses and safer kids.
Because kids deserve to be in stable situations where the parents can take care of them. You understand what I'm saying? And as a mother, it's your job to make sure that you give the best for your children. And so what I want you to start considering is, are you living the best life for the children that you brought into this world? And start thinking about the changes that you need to make for them to be better. When I had my son, he was very premature. And so the doctor told me, he said, do you understand that statistically and scientifically, the best indicator of how well a child will do is what? And I said, I don't know. What do you? So he said, it is how well the mother does. So what your children's success depends more on you than anything else. Do you understand me? And so you don't have to just keep going from pillar to post and doing whatever makes sense at the time. You have got to, as a 30-year-old grown-up mother of 3, start making decisions that take into account the fact that you have children. You have a 9-month-old child now who has been away from its mother for, 30 days? And the potential exists, because you still have pending charges in Fulton, that you'll be away from that child for even longer, especially if it's a felony. And Fulton is slow. I'm going to tell you right now, they are slow. Their cases don't move that fast. And what I'm telling you is, you keep making decisions in the short term that have very long-term negative effects on your babies. You got to stop. When somebody tells me somebody has 11 cycles, I'm looking to see what the issue is. I don't particularly see that it's alcohol. So at this time, I'm not going to order like alcohol, substance abuse. But I think that you are making choices because you're making short-term choices in the immediate. You're in a survivalist mindset. What do I have to do right?
This section hits hard. The judge says short-term choices are creating long-term damage, that being repeatedly jailed means Ms. Allah can't ensure her kids are safe. From a legal standpoint, that connects to why probation can fail. If daily crises drive decisions, court conditions get ignored, leading to more violations. The key legal takeaway: probation is both a chance and a test. You must report, attend classes, and avoid new arrests. Miss those steps, and the system's leniency snaps back. Engagement moment. If you were the judge, would you add treatment automatically, hear or wait for evidence? The judge notably declines to order alcohol, substance treatment right now, suggesting the issue looks more behavioral and environmental than chemical, at least on this record.
Right now, what do I have to do right now? Instead of thinking about what you need to do as a mother to improve yourself so that your children have the best life. Do you want your children to grow up to be where you are right now? So if you don't make some changes, that's exactly what you're going to do. First of all, if you're not with your children, there is no way in the world that you can tell me you know that they're being cared for. It is a mother's job to protect her kids beyond anything else. That's your first job, your primary job. But if you're away from your kids, you don't know who has them. You don't know who's taking care of them. You don't know if they are taking care of them. All you know is somebody got my kids. But you keep putting yourself in situations where you have to be away from your kids. You keep getting arrested for stuff. You getting convicted of stuff. You spending time in jail for stuff. That's not what a mother is supposed to do. You got me? So what we're going to do is we're going to get on this program.
Now we get to the practical design of the sentence. The judge recognizes the defendant isn't working and has 3 kids, so she suspends supervision fees and de-emphasizes the money up front to focus on compliance. Classes, intervention, community service. You'll hear numbers $500 in fines, a larger total around $737, but the instruction is crystal clear. Prioritize the classes. meaning complete the mandatory programs first. Why does that matter? Courts increasingly try to avoid setting people up to fail with unpayable costs. Successful completion of classes can reduce reoffending. Unpaid fines can often be managed on the back end. Do you agree with this approach? Should courts reorder fines and fees so success isn't blocked by poverty? Or should financial penalties always remain front and center as a consequence?
Here that they have outlined for you. Now, there is no way in the world I think that you can pay $500 in fines and fees. Not at this point, because you're not working and you still got charges that you got to figure out. And you got 3 kids to take care of. But that's part of the sentence. We're going to see how that works. What I want you to do is, while you're on probation, I want you to start focusing on how you can better yourself. Okay? Is there a program? You say you're an esthetician. Well, is there a salon you can work in? Is there a place where you can ply your trade? I got a cousin who's an esthetician who is now going back and getting her nursing degree, not because she wants to be a nurse, but because she wants to be able to do other parts of her job that require her to have a nursing degree. She wants to be able to give Botox and stuff like that. I don't know, but I know that she'll be well paid for it. And if she needs to earn money as a nurse, she can do that too. You have got to start thinking outside the box and think of those things that you can do to make your life better and your children's life better, or else you're going to doom them to failure. You understand? And if you love your children like I think you do, then you got to make some changes and stop going from pillar to post. First of all, you don't need any more children right now. Can we agree on that?
Some viewers ask, why is a judge talking about condoms in relationships? Here's the logic: stability. The court is linking partner violence, volatile relationships, and unplanned pregnancies to the cycles that keep Ms. Allah in court. Family violence intervention programs teach communication and boundary-setting skills that reduce risk of future charges. The judge's advice to avoid violent or destabilizing partners is not a legal order. About dating, it's a practical prevention strategy tied to protecting children and reducing recidivism. Engagement prompt: do you find this plain talk empowering or too personal for a courtroom? And if you were advising Ms. Allah, what would be your first actionable step tonight? Changing a phone number, lining up childcare, or calling a salon to apply as an esthetician's assistant?
And condoms are cheaper than child support or child care. If you need to go to a free clinic and get on something to stop from having children because you can't do it yourself, then go do that. But stop bringing children into a situation where you have no control. You don't have to have kids. You got kids now. Focus on the ones you got. Make sure they're okay before you get some more. We clear? And a lot of people won't say that because they say, oh, I don't know if I should say that. I'm saying it because I'm prioritizing the kids that you have here now on earth, not the kids that could come. And that's what you need to do. Now, if the father of your children is a source of violence and volatility, or if the man who was involved in this situation with you is a source of violence and volatility, you do not need to be with him. Don't accept that as how your life's supposed to go. If he's not making it better, if he's not helping you get to the next level, if he's not making your children's life better, then don't punish them by subjecting them to the kind of foolishness that's right here. And don't ever involve your children in your foolishness, telling some child to go get a knife. That struggle is not your child's struggle. That's something you did. You chose that person, you got involved with that person, and you put yourself in that situation. Don't put your kids in that trauma. Do you hear me? And I know you thought, I'm going to get sentenced, but you didn't expect this. But I want you to take seriously. Let me tell you what I want you to prioritize in probation. I want you to prioritize looking for something where you can get a steady source of income. I want you to prioritize this parenting class. And I want you to prioritize the family violence intervention program where you learn skills in how to communicate with people. But most of all, I want you to understand that you don't have to accept what somebody brings to you. If it doesn't work for you and your children, you don't have to accept every man that walks up to you and tell you you're pretty. If he's not adding good to your life, don't bring him into your life. You can go without a man. You understand? Okay. Now I'm finished fussing at you. I think you can do this. I think you can get better and get your children's life better. And if nobody else has told you that, I think you can. So we're going to take this 12 months.
Let's decode the sentence. 12 months total, with 24 days credited for time served. The rest is probated, meaning supervision in the community instead of jail, so long as she complies. Programs: parenting class and family violence intervention. Program: community service, 80 hours. Money: a $500 fine within a larger figure mentioned, but a separate $300 fine is suspended if she's compliant. Critical piece: everything runs concurrently, so all those counts and conditions stack within the same 12-month window. The judge also suspends supervision fees to help her funnel time and money toward classes. Practically, success hinges on 2 things: report to probation immediately and communicate when problems arise. Miss appointments, skip classes, or catch a new charge in that probation can convert to jail time fast. Would you bet on completion here? Why or why not?
We can see if we can make that happen, okay? Now, I'm going to suspend the supervision fees so that you can focus the money on your classes. You understand? Okay, so I'll sentence you on count 1 to 12 months to serve 24 days, credit for time served, balance will be probated for you to pay a fine in the amount of $500. It's $737.50. But what did I tell you to prioritize? The classes, right? We'll deal with the money on the other side of it. I want you to prioritize the classes. You're also to do 80 hours of community service and family violence intervention program. Count 5 will be 12 months probation, 40 hours of community service. Count 6, 12 months probation, parenting class. Count 7 is a $300 fine, but that fine has been suspended. As long as you're doing fine with the other stuff, you don't worry about the $300. That's suspended, okay? All right, all of these things will run at the same time. So in those 12 months, I need you to focus on the parenting class, the family violence intervention, and then the community service. That's your order of preference, okay? All right, so the probation is going to come talk to them about any issues that you might have. I don't know if housing is an issue, but you need to secure housing for yourself and your children, and then work on getting yourself a job, a position, anything that's going to bring stability in your life. You got me? And then in your spare time, you ain't gonna have much. I want you to see where you think you should be in 5 years. I want you to give yourself a vision of where you and your children should be in 5 years. You understand that? Because if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to run around in circles and be in a green jumpsuit. Okay? I'm going to need you to make better choices. All right. You can go back with the sheriff's office.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Speak up for me.
You said I'm gonna be away from my children longer.
Not for me, but if you got something in Fulton County, I don't know if they're going to pick you up from here, if they got a hold on you, or if you got to report at some other time. But my understanding is you got something pending in Fulton.
So they mean I have a hold here?
They can check for you. Does she have a hold, gentleman, or Deputy Turner?
I'm not sure. I can verify, call and check.
Okay.
I could also check.
Allah.
What's your first name?
Fatima.
You don't see one?
Judge, it was not my understanding that she had a hold either.
Okay, good. All right. So, Ms. Alla, when you get out of here, make sure you do what is necessary to report to probation. Because let me tell you, the quickest way to come back to jail is not report to probation. You understand? Even if you having trouble doing what I asked you to do, you come back and you tell your probation officer and let them work with you. All right? Now you go home and you hug them babies and you promise them that you're going to make life different for them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But that's my last case, and I appreciate your words of wisdom and counsel. I've been spending time with her over the course of this ordeal, and her family retained me. I think she's getting it. And so I appreciate your words.
Sometimes you just need that person to speak life into you, Mr. Lewis. People do it for me, and so I have committed to do it for other people.
Well, that's awesome, Your Honor.
All right, thank
May
you,
I be
sir.
excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your help. All
Thank you.
right.
Final turn. The hold scare passes, no hold appears, so Ms. Allah can transition straight into probation, hug her kids, and start the plan. The defense counsel thanks the court, noting she needed someone to speak life into her. That's the theme today, accountability with a path forward. Legally, the court balanced risk 11 cycles and a pending aggravated matter elsewhere against rehabilitation, education, intervention, service, suspended fees. The message is unmistakable. Prioritize stability, parenting skills, safe relationships, and lawful income. If she reports, completes classes, and avoids new arrests, she can reset the trajectory for herself and her children within a year. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.